Alright, what is going on, everybody? This is Tim Odell with Odell Complete Concrete, and this is the final part to this build series. This is part 7, so I hope you have stayed tuned for all the rest. If you haven't, you can always go back and check out all the previous parts of the build series so you guys can see what we have done for this whole entire project. Alright, so we're just doing the staircase install right now, so check it out. All I did was measure off the post. I actually put a square right there. See the red square? Put it against the block wall and the 4x4 pressure treated wood. Then I marked it at 4 feet because that will be the end of the deck. Then I just put the bracket, which we're going to be using this bracket. It's a pretty cool, unique bracket system. It's pretty much concealed. It's a CPT Z44. And all you do for these is once you drill down the holes, put the base plate over it like that. We're gonna cut a slit in the wood the same as this. Looks like it's 4 3/4. And we're gonna slip the wood right over the metal bracket and put these pins through all the wood just like that. So I already drilled out these ones, so I'm just gonna set this right here. Come over here, Jimmy. So now all I gotta do is just drive these down. And these are really cool anchors. Basically, as you drive them down, they expand and just get stuck in the concrete. They're expansion anchor bolts. So that's what we are going to do.
Cut a little bit off the tip, huh? Yeah. Just a little too long. Just a little bit too long. Hopefully it doesn't whack towards me, which I think it's going.
So right now we're just marking out the holes so that we can send these little pieces through the wood so it catches them and doesn't come undone. Okay. Right there. Okay. Let's put it on. Yep, go ahead.
You're gonna have to like hammer it, it looks like.
Alright, we got the post in, drove the pins through, everything went in pretty nicely. We were struggling, but we got it in. Now we are just cutting the header board to the right, putting some of this joist tape on to protect it from the cement, since it's going to be going on the back right here. And then we're going to be using these massive Titan screws. They're 1/2 inch by 6 inches, huge. Gonna be driven right through here, through the wood.
You go.
Yep, you're on.
Action. Hey everybody.
Come on.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, you're on.
Does it look good?
I look good.
No, but does the camera look
Yeah.
good?
yeah.
Okay.
It's like 5 and 3, 5 and 5/8.
How's that look, guys? That's money, huh?
Looks good.
Yeah.
Flush?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm
good.
flush.
Oh, wow.
You're good to go.
It's really
Yeah.
flush.
Very flush.
Okay, hold me up, boys, right here. Alright, so what we're doing right now is we're just going to be putting that header piece up. I got Shane and Jimmy holding up the header piece of the deck while I pre-drill some holes into the wood and concrete so that I can put those Titan screws in. We're basically doing 2 inches off of each end, and then from there 8 inches on center. So in total, I believe we put about 5 Titan screws in, top and bottom. So 10 in total. So the next thing you're going to see us doing right now is we're just transferring the level from the deck header beam over to our post so that we can get our post cut to the right height. We're also going to be cutting out the deck joist, which are really large pieces. They're 4x6 by 12s. And then we're also going to be attaching our hardware to the deck, which was an RTC 44, which basically connects the joist and the post all together as one big piece. So we got most of the staircase deck built out. Next thing I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be cutting all of my stringers and just kind of going over some tips and tricks. So hopefully you guys find this helpful. Okay, so I'm going to start going over the stringer layout and setup and build and how we did this. What we did was, since I want to make this one step up included in the deck itself from the stringers that I'm building, all I had to do was basically measure down from the from the concrete to the deck, which gave me about 45.5 or 44.5. Next thing I did was divide that up into steps to figure out how many steps I'm going to need. So I had 45.5 or 44.5, sorry. So I go to my Construction Master Pro calculator, super awesome calculator. So 44 inches and a half divided, and I already know what the amount of steps is. You might have to play around with the numbers. So let's say I didn't know and I had to guess 44.5 and let's say 7. Oh wait, that is the amount. That is the right amount. So it's 7 steps. So I just wanted to pause the video really quick and tell you guys, if I was to divide that number, let's say by a lower number, let's say 5 steps, I would have got a much higher number, which would have been 8 7/8. And to code, that would not pass. Legal step height is 4 3/4 to 7 3/4. So you had to find a step height between those numbers, and 7 just worked perfectly for what we were doing for this job. And that was 7 steps to give us 6 3/8 for each step. But I'm not including this step right here. I'm actually only going to build for 6 steps, since this last step is included in the decking. So the measurement is 6 3/8. Now what I did next after that was I measured out a piece of scrap lumber off of pre-treated wood. All I did, and I'll show you right now, was I used a nice factory square edge, and I want my run to be 10 inches. So went up to 10 inches and I marked this because that's gonna be the tread, and then I know it's 6 3/8. So now I'm gonna measure over to 6 3/8 down on the lower side. 6 3/8. All right. Next thing I did from that point was I get a square or a long straight edge, and I go from corner to corner. Now this will give you the degree in your steps. There it is, right? What you would do after that is you'd cut this piece out right here, and you'd stick it onto a scrap piece of lumber like this. And I actually learned this trick from the other YouTubers online, like what's their name? Perkins Builder Brothers. They're awesome teachers. So, you know, I had to pick up this trick real quick from them and a couple of other YouTubers out there that have done this trick, but just want to reiterate the technique and tips and tricks and get them out there to everyone. So once you cut that piece out, just find a scrap piece of lumber that has a straight edge. You need a straight edge for this to work. Put put it on, and then you have your step, right? You got your step, and then your tread, right? So that's the step right there. There it is. Just to show you guys. So 6 3/8, and then 10 inches for the run. Hopefully you guys can see that, 10 inches for the run. Now that the jig is made, all I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna trace that onto a 2x10 pressure treated wood, and then we will be cutting this out after I have this all marked out. But for the last step, that's actually where you need to take off an extra inch and a half, whatever it may be for your tread, which is your finished floor. It's either going to be, you know, you got to account for your plywood, and then like the finished like Trex or whatever you may be putting on top of your stairs. My finished floor is about 1.5 inches. So all I need minus is 1.5 inches off my last step, because once you put the plywood and finish Trex on, it's gonna account for that all the way going back up. Just so you guys have an idea. So all of my steps are 6 3/8. See that? From this step to that step, I have 6 3/8. Hopefully you guys can see that. But for the last one down here, I took 1.5 inches off. Oops, for this step right here. So that gave me 4 7/8, basically 5 inches. So I hope those tips were helpful for anyone that's starting to build their own staircase steps and stringers, so that they can do the math and make sure that their stringers come out exactly how they need them. Also, if you have your own little tips and tricks, go ahead and leave them down in the comments. I'm sure more people that come and watch this video will appreciate that. After we do cut all of our stringers, we are taping them all off so that they are better protected from the weather with some joist tape. And one more key detail that I forgot to mention was at the bottom of that step right there, we will be cutting a kicker plate out. So it's going to be 1.5 inches cut out in the front, so that we can put a kicker plate at the bottom of the steps, so the steps never move, just like that. So as of right now, we do have all of our stringers installed, and if you notice, the one closest to us was actually a 4x6 stringer, so it's a lot larger. So we had to get a 4x6x12 to be able to create that stringer right there. And the reason why that one on the end is so much bigger is because we're going to be putting a railing on the staircase, and we need a big stringer on the end to be able to screw the post down into it. And then we are going to be putting plywood on top of all the stringers, and then the finish flooring will be Trex. One other little detail too, we are going to be adding some 45-degree angled bracing from the post to the deck. It'll be a little hard to see because it's a far shot, but you'll see me underneath installing those. And now that the main framing is done for the staircase, I have to wait on inspection, so I'm basically just going to switch gears to the railing and getting the railing all established and set up. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm just getting my railing lined up with the other one that's on the staircase so that those are in line. So once I do start to install the railing on top of the staircase, the railing on the wall will be straight and in line with the staircase railing. So all I'm doing really is I'm just grabbing a masonry bit, drilling down to the block wall, and putting some lag bolts into the railing. They're about 4 to 5 inch lag bolts, and we're just screwing those down. The only problem was I was hitting rebar once in a while, and either my masonry bit would break or the lag bolt would break. And now here is the end of the railing post we're going to be installing. And if you look closely, you can see there are pre-drilled holes in that post. And the reason why there are those is because we're going to be installing a cable railing. And what's nice about going with Lowe's pre-manufactured kit is they already have pre-drilled holes for you. So as long as you're building these or putting these posts on a leveled surface, everything should be in line with one another, and you won't have any problems running your cables through each post. So all I'm doing is I'm installing the very first railing to the very end railing, and what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pull a string line from each one so that every other post I install after this point will be nice and in line with one another. So as we were building out the railing, the city inspector for the stairs finally came out to inspect all the steps and make sure we were building everything to engineering plans.
My detail on my stair.
I think one more page. Oh yeah.
We're not using this detail, huh?
Yeah, no, we got the knee brace right over there.
Oh, that's why I can't see it. Did you use the shot pins too?
No, I went with the alternate. The what was it? I think it was 1/2 inch anchor bolts, 4 inch deep.
Oh, there you go. Yeah, you're good. That thing's gonna last longer than I am.
It's pretty built.
That's the idea, right? Yeah.
So we passed inspection, and now we can get back to installing the railing, and then after that we're going to finish up putting all the plywood on the stringers and deck.
Okay, Jimmy, talk to us.
Well, you take this, right?
Okay.
This is our start. gonna start right here.
So it's like a threaded in, right?
Yeah, thread it in. And then we're gonna run that through the post.
Okay.
And then put our little metal washer.
Okay.
Protect it. Make sure that gets seated. Then we're just gonna throw the nut on top. Make sure the nut.
You just tighten that up all the way right now?
You tighten it until you see the threads start pulling through, and then you pull it tight, and then it says you can either cut it or leave it.
Okay. Okay, that should be plenty, huh? Just in case. Just in case. We don't know. We don't know how tight we need it.
So you can see right there, we're leaving a little extra threading on the end of that post. So when we do run the cable all the way through, we can always tighten it up a little bit more at the end if needed.
Okay, that's all we do. Now we just pull all the slack out. Now, the last thing you do once you pull the slack out, is you're gonna put this right here in Jimmy's hand, and this is gonna go into the cable. But once you push this through, the cable through this piece, you would not be able to get the cable back out. So make sure when you're pushing it through the cable that you got it really nice and tight, as tight as you can with your hands. And then you're gonna go down to the other side. You're gonna tighten that bolt that we showed you guys at the beginning. Alright, so we have ran all the wire through the railing, or all the cables through the railing. You can see them coming out this end right here. Of course, we got to cut them all a lot shorter so that we can get these little finished caps on right here. All they do is just go on the end right there, just like that. We'll show you that once we get to that point. But right now, we're going to start tightening all these to make them real tight. You can see they're a little loose. So I'm gonna go over here. We're gonna see how Jimmy's doing this. All right, so how are we doing it?
All right, so we got 12 rails. We're gonna count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start at the 6, then it works for 6. 5, 5, 4, 4, right? Up and down. That way it's even and it doesn't pull.
Yeah, even tension across the whole cable railing.
Doesn't try to pull one way or the other.
All right.
And pretty simple. Gonna take our doohickey like this, and then I'm just gonna spin it around.
That's an Allen key, or Allen wrench.
It's my doohickey.
Basically, you put the Allen wrench within the threaded. There's a little hole on these threads, and then you got to hold the nut so that you can tighten it. And you can kind of see the tension of it twisting and binding. Wait, hold up, Jimmy. Keep feeling it, okay, before you get too crazy with it. Yeah, you can go a little more. Okay. And you can see the thread coming back the other way. And that way you know it's getting tight.
What do you think?
How you feel?
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's it.
That feels pretty good. I think this one needs to be tightened a little bit more. This one feels a little loose.
Okay.
Oh shit, look at it, it's untightening.
No, it just spins. That's why you have a washer there. Without that washer, it would be scraping the metal. What it's doing is these are all threaded, so it's spinning itself, you know, back to where it wants to be. But it's locked in with the lug nut, you can see. Can't untighten. Yeah, it's weird, huh?
Huh. That's the trick. Look at that. You can see the nut spinning, but it's not getting loose. Oh, that's because we had to hold it That's why.
Yeah.
That's why you
So
gotta
it's going
hold.
back to its original, wherever it wanted to be.
Hopefully that makes it. Sucks that I can't really get a good shot. This post is right in the way.
Feel it?
Oh yeah, you can feel this, baby. Oh yeah, this is good. That's good, dude.
That's good?
Oh yeah, that feels pretty tight.
Yeah.
This one needs to. Oh, you haven't done any of these ones.
And then I'm gonna work this one, and then that one. Yeah, top to bottom. Go top to bottom.
All right, so he's gonna tighten up all these, and this railing system's gonna be looking real good. All right, so we just got done tightening all the rails. Now we're just cutting off the excess so we can put the final finished caps. All right, go for it. Nice. All right, we're just gonna cut all of them just like that and then put the caps on. All right, so here's the next side right now. We're just cutting these off as well, doing the same exact thing on the other side. Just snipping them pretty damn close to where the fitting went. Then we just throw the little finish cap over the end. Just kind of snaps on. So just to show you guys, there's a big cap or big finish cap.
That's
And
the
a
side with the
small
nuts.
one. That's the side with the nuts, like Jimmy was saying. And
That's
this is the side with
where
the
it has
fitting.
the crimp, or the clamp.
Yeah, exactly.
So here's just a final shot of how it looks after we've cut all of the cables, put the finished caps on each end, and this railing system is almost complete. We still do need to add the staircase railing, but the top railing is done. And it came out real nice. It's looking really slick so far. Is this something you guys would be putting at your house? Also, now that we're going to be starting to build the staircase railing, you can see that the staircase has been painted black, and the homeowners actually painted it. Next thing we're going to start doing though is we are going to start installing our Trex decking. And this stuff is real nice looking. What I have done right now is I've just laid out the top Trex decking across the top staircase deck, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to be cutting out the borders to create a bordered edge for the top of the deck. And I don't have a track saw or anything like that, so I'm basically just creating my own track saw with one of the Trex decking boards. Just put some weight on it, made sure it was evenly measured out for where I needed to be cut, and I adjusted my skill saw so that I made sure to only cut the Trex decking and not the deck itself. This is an easy DIY homemade track saw. Of course, I'd much rather have a track saw, but you know, this works too. As long as it's straight, that's all that matters. And you can also see as I am building up this staircase for the Trex, we are putting 45-degree miter cuts on all the corners. Make this decking look a little bit nicer with a little bit overhang as well. And what's nice about the Trex decking as well is that all those little holes are going to be filled with these little caps. So all the screws are completely hidden. And then as you put them in, you just want to be a little gentle as you hammer them down with something, so it makes it look a little bit cleaner. And you don't get any marks on those little cover-up caps. So I was using the Trex basically to try to prevent any damages on the wood. So the last thing I had to do for the staircase was just finish up all the railing for the top of the wall and wrapping around on the border or edge of the staircase itself down to the bottom step. Alright, and then here is the finished product for the staircase with the railing installed. We kept the railing a little long on the end because it's a nice, it's basically the railing everyone grabs onto from the top and bottom and swing around on. But you can see staircase and railing all came out really slick and nice. Also, I hope you guys enjoyed the entire build series and that you stay tuned for all 7 parts. If you haven't, you can always go check the link, or you can always go check the descriptions, and I'll have all the linked series below. Make sure you guys like, share, subscribe, comment any questions you may have on the entire staircase and railing build or any part of the whole build series, and I'd be happy to answer any questions. Other than that, have a great day guys, and stay tuned for more Odell Complete Concrete videos.